What is up, everybody? It's Goomer22 here with another playoff breakdown. So week 7 happened, and actually a couple week 8 games have already been played, so we'll include that here. But this is just a breakdown of first seeds, second seeds, and what I'm sure everybody's waiting for, wild card potential. So let's jump right into it. So this is the layout on the site right now. The Ice Cues and Suicune have played, and that game has not been reflected on here, but so spoilers if you haven't seen that, as well as mine and Gumi's game. But that is reflected here, and so yeah, just go check it out if you don't want to be spoiled. But yeah, let's jump into guaranteed first seeds. Okay, so the top teams are all guaranteed first. Because me and Gumi already played and I won. Now I'm 6-2, and Saki with the Tyranitar sauces will not be able to catch me. Had I lost, the sauces could have caught me. But as of now, the sauces are the only guaranteed second seed. The Warriors cannot catch them, or the Embors. I know, that's the other thing, is the Embors and Dilfu are like a game behind. I'm not sure if that game's being played, but we're just going to assume that it has been played or might be played, and we don't know the result. So, okay, let's talk about guaranteed playoffs. Anyone with 5 wins is guaranteed playoffs because, as you can see, one of there'll be a playoff team from the Diamond division, for second seed, and then Sapphire is already set in stone for first and second seed. For Ruby and Pearl, you're gonna have a first and a second seed. Now, doesn't matter who that is, but after that, even if these, so for example, Toots lost, so he's 5-3. Let's say the Celesteals lose and they're 5-3. Well, the only other 2 teams, so that would be 2 wildcard slots, and the only other 2 teams who could make wildcard with 5-3 are the Manitans and the Sableyes. So that would be your 4 wildcard teams if they were all 5-3, and so nobody would get pushed out at 5-3, basically. So 5 wins is guaranteed playoffs right now. But let's talk about playoff potential now. So actually, anyone with 3 wins is still in it, regardless of your differential. And that's largely due to the fact that not a lot of these people play each other, and so it just, there's a lot of possibility here. So let's jump into a little bit deeper breakdown of some of these things. So, second seeds. So, for Ruby, the Ice Cues already won, so the Ice Cues are 6-2, plus 6. But since they have the same differential as the Celesteals right now, and the Celesteals, haven't played their game, as long as the Celesteals win, they'll take second seed. So it doesn't matter if it's 2-1 or 2-0. Celesteals will take second seed with a win. Otherwise, the Ice Cues get it. Sapphire, we already talked about it. It's just Saki with the Tyranitar sauces locked in. Diamond is probably the most interesting one. So Rabombi's guarantee take it with a win. But if they lose, the Blazikins can take it with a win. However, it gets tricky because if the Rabombis lose 1-2 and go to 4-4 plus 0, and then the Blazikins win 2-1 and go to 4-4 plus 0, Rabombis have the head-to-head. So even if Rabombis lose, they still have a chance at taking second seed. But it's unlikely, since they would have to win 1-2 and Blazikins have to win 2-1. But if Blazikins just win 2-0, they can guaranteed take it as long as Rabombis lose. So that one's a little bit tricky. The reason the Incineroars can't take it is because even if the Blazikins lose and the Incineroars win 2-0 and the Ribombis lose 2-0, so let's say the Ribombis go to 4-4 -1, Blazikins lose, Incineroars go to 4-4 plus, or they go to 4-4 -1. The Ribombis have the head-to-head on Incineroars, so the Incineroars can't take second seed regardless. And then in Pearl, since the Suicunes already lost and are 5-3, the Darmanitans guarantee take it with a win. And if they lose, the Sableyes can take it. And it doesn't matter about the games here because let's say, best case scenario, Darmanitans lose one differential. They lose 1-2. So they go to 5-3 +3. Well, the Sableyes are already 4-3 +3. So if they win, they would have to go up from that. So let's say they go to 5-3 +4. Now they're +4. Darmanitans are +3. They take it. So it doesn't matter about the games. It's just if Darmanitans win, they guarantee it. If they lose, then they need the Sableyes to lose. So that's the second seed breakdown. Now let's talk about wildcards. So there's 2 guaranteed spots for the 4 wildcards, and the way wildcards work, as I'm sure we've talked about, is just after the top 2 seeds, or after the top 2 records in each division, you look at the top 4 records of all of the divisions. So you could have 4 wildcards come from Ruby. You could have, 2 come from Ruby, 2 come from Pearl. You could have 1 from each division. It just matters what the 4 best records are after you exclude the top 2 teams in each division. So in this case, since 5 wins is a guaranteed wild card, the Ice Cues have 6 wins, but either the Ice Cues or the Celesteals will be a wild card because one of them has to take second seed, the other one has to be a wild card. Same thing over in Pearl. The Suicunes already lost and are 5-3, so the Suicunes are guaranteed wild card because even if the Darmanitans lose 0-2, they would still take second seed if the Sableyes lose as well. So there's no scenario where the Suicunes take second seed, but since they have 5 wins, they are guaranteed a wild card. So there are 2 spots locked up, either the Celesteals or the Ice Cues or the Suicunes. So then we have we have 8 teams, but 7 spots fighting for the final 2 wildcard spots. And the reason being is that Ribombis and Blazikins, one of them will have to take second seed. So one of them will be in wildcard contention, potentially. But the other one's taking second seed. So, it just depends on what all happens. And we'll go through a little bit of a breakdown with it here. So there's a lot of info on here, a breakdown. So we have those final 2 spots, all those teams up at the top. Now, right below that, we've got, these are the records that could happen for the wild cards. Now, to be a wild card, you're going to have to be 4-4. So any of the 3 and 4 teams, you'll have to win to have a potential at wild card. Now, the Manitans, and if we go back a slide, the Manitans and the Sableyes are 4-3. So they're the only 4-3 teams. Besides Ribombis, but Ribombis are in the second place position right now. So if Manitans and Sableyes both win, they're taking those wildcard spots because they'll have 5 wins. Now, if they lose, that's where it gets tricky. So Sableyes, if the Sableyes just drop a game, if they lose 1-2, they're 4-4 and +2. Now, no one else can be 4-4 +2 and be in wildcard contention. And sorry, we'll jump back again real quick. The reason being, if you notice, Sorry, so no one else can be 4-4 +2. So Sableyes have a really good differential. Now, if the Sableyes lose 0-2, that's the only way they can lose a spot at wild card, because they'll be 4-4 plus one, and so then they go into head to head. They go into tiebreakers with some of these other teams. The Warriors could win 2-0 and be 4-4 plus one. The Embors, right now, if you look, the Embors are 2-4 minus 3. So if they win both games, maybe it's a makeup game or whatever. If they win both of them 2-0, they'll go up plus 4, and so they'll be 4-4 plus 1. So Embors could win twice and be 4-4 plus 1. And then the Blazekins here could win 2-0 and be 4-4 plus 1. So you could have all these teams at 4-4 plus 1, and the thing is, Sableyes have the head-to-head over Embors because they beat them during regular season. Embors have head-to-head over Warriors because they beat them during the regular season. But after head-to-head, it goes to KD ratio, as we see on the left here. And KD ratio is actually really good for the Warriors. Now, you might say, okay, well, Warriors and Sableyes are pretty close, so who knows what happens in the last week. Well, the thing about that is the Warriors need to win in their last week, which means their KD will go up. The Sableyes would have to lose for this scenario to happen. So it means their KD will go down. So if it comes down to it, where the Warriors win 2-0 and the Sableyes lose 2-2, it's guaranteed that the Warriors would take that. So the only way the Warriors, if they go into like a tiebreaker here in 4-4 plus 1, the only way they're losing is a head-to-head matchup against Embors. Any sort of kill-death type of thing, they're likely winning. Now, if the Blazekins got like a double 4-0 and maybe the Warriors got like a 1-0-1-0, maybe the Blazekins could catch them. It's possible, but I think generally any type of kill death tiebreaker with the Warriors are going to win. So that's interesting. Same thing with the Embors. Theirs is so low right now, because now they are a game behind, but theirs is so low that if they, even if they win twice, they're likely not going to win a kill death tiebreaker. So, in this 4-4 plus 1, if it comes down to it, if it's just Warriors Embors would take it. If it's Warriors and anybody else, Warriors probably take it. If the Warriors are not in it, I would say the Blazekins probably take it, because Blazekins are at 1.08, and if the Sableyes lose and the Blazekins win, I bet the Blazekins overtake them with that KD ratio. So Blazekins probably win if it's Blazekins and anybody else. Sableyes could beat either Sableyes have head-to-head over Embors, but they would likely win KD over Embors too. So, if the Sableyes don't want this to happen, just don't lose 0-2. Next, we have 4-4 plus 0. And I guess Embors could be included on here too, but they have such a low KD, they probably wouldn't be in contention here anyways. Because they have 2 games to play, so they could definitely end up here if they win 2-1 and 2-0 or something like that. But it likely wouldn't matter. It's possible, but anyways, so you have the Terrors who could win 2-0, Warriors could win 2-1, Blazekins could win 2-1, and Rabombis could lose 1-2. Now, in this scenario, the Rabombis have the head-to-head on Blazekins, so if that ends up happening, Rabombis take the 2nd seed, and then Blazekins would face off against these other teams with KD ratio. Again, based on the KD ratios over here, Terrors are at 0.79, Warriors are at 1.18. Warriors likely win any sort of KD here. If the Warriors are not in it, then Blazekins probably take it over. Yeah, Blazekins would take it over Terrors because they're so far ahead of them. So Terrors would really need Warriors and Blazekins to lose because they're not going to win any sort of head-to-head here. And although, well, no, even if it was Terrors versus Rabombis, I don't think Terrors could win that. So they have a low chance here. In the 4-4 -1, that would happen if Manitans lose 1-2, Terrors win 2-1, Rabombis lose 0-2, Incineroars win 2-0. Now, in here, the Rabombis have head-to-head on Incineroars. So Incineroars wouldn't, if Rabombis lose 0-2, if the Rabombis lose and the Blazekins win, Incineroars would never make it. And then Manitans have head-to-head on Terrors. So Terrors wouldn't be able to make it there if it was just them two. Now, if there's 3 teams and it comes down to like a KD type of thing, I still don't think the Terrors win because they are 0.79, Manitans are 0.96. Again, it is possible, but I would say it's unlikely that the Terrors win some sort of triple KD thing, like between like Terrors, Manitans, Rabombis or something like that, or Terrors, Manitans, and Incineroars. Now Terrors could win a KD on the Incineroars because Incineroars here are 0.69. So if the Terrors went up against the Incineroars here at 4-4 -1, they could take it over Incineroars. And then in 4-4 -2, you have Manitans lose 0-2, Incineroars win 1-2, and the Manitans have the head-to-head, so that one wouldn't matter. If the Manitans lose 0-2, and the Incineroars win 1-2, the Manitans have it. So, just to kind of further break this down, we can go team by team and talk about what needs to happen essentially for them to make it. So, Sableyes, if they take a game, they're guaranteed wild card. So, Sableyes take a game, they're guaranteed wild card. Manitans, if they win, they're guaranteed wild card. If they lose, it opens up the door for a lot of people. And the reason being, Warriors and Incineroars actually face off, and they're both 3-4. So if we go back here, we see that the Incineroars are 3-4 -3, the Warriors are 3-4 -1, and they face each other this week. So you're going to have a team that's 4-4, guaranteed at the end of this. You're gonna have a team that's 4-4. And so because of that, if the Manitans lose, then either Warriors win, the Warriors will get that spot. And if the Incineroars win, Manitans have head-to-head on Incineroars here too. But if the Incineroars win, the only way they take it over Manitans is if they lose 0-2. But if I would say that there are 3 scenarios here where Manitans potentially lose it. If the Warriors win either way, or if the Incineroars win and the Manitans lose 0-2. So if the Manitans lose, that does not look very good for them making playoffs. So, like I said, yes. So, and then if Warriors, they've got the best shot, I would say, of all the 3-4 teams. They have a high differential and they have the best KD. So if they win 2-0, all they need is for Sableyes to lose 0-2 or Manitans to lose. And they pretty much have it. Unless Embors get 2 2-0s. Now, the interesting thing about that is the Embors are facing Dilfu and the Licky Lickies. 2 of the teams with not great records. on the season. So it's very conceivable that the Embors do get 2-2-0s. So this scenario right here is, I would say, not super unlikely. So, um, so that's where it gets tricky. Now, if there are 3 teams in here, even if if like Sableyes have head to head on Embors, Embors have head to head on Warriors, I don't know how that 3-team playoff works, but regardless, I think it might come down to KD, and then I think Warriors take it. So, um, Warriors look good if they get 2-0. Um, but if Blazekins get a 2-0, they also look really good because they just need um, as long as the Warriors don't win 2-0, as long as any other thing happens, Warriors win 2-1 or the Incineroars win, um, they look pretty good against both of these teams for KD as well. So Blazekins and Warriors definitely have the best chance. And then I would say it's a lot less likely for like Terrors. And then actually, if the Rabombis lose, it does get tricky because Rabombis are. Um, I mean, it's. I don't know. Actually, it is possible, I think, that Terrors overtake Rabombis. If Rabombis lose and Terrors win 2-0, I would say it is possible that they overtake them with KD. So if Rabombis lose, it doesn't look great for sure. But again, since they're already in second seed, as long as the Blazekins lose, they're fine. So, but in terms of wild, if they actually go head to head against people with wild card, it would look really dicey for Rabombis. So they need to hope the Blazekins lose, or all these other teams don't get these wins. And then Terrors with such a low KD, it's tricky. Same with Embors if they go head to head in these 4-4 plus 0 minus ones. And then like Incineroars, they have the toughest time of all because Incineroars face the Warriors. So if they get that win, they're fine. And then Sableyes are guaranteed getting a spot over the Incineroars. So the basically the only way the Incineroars make it is if they beat the Warriors. Doesn't matter if Sableyes. Blazekins lose. Rabombis, it wouldn't matter because one of those teams is taking it. So Blazekins lose. Mantans lose 0-2. Terrors lose. Embors lose. And they win 2-0. So it's the toughest time for the Incineroars because they need 1, 2, 3, 4 losses to happen. Plus, they need to get to 2-0. And they need one of those losses to be an 0-2. So the Incineroars have a really tough time. But it is possible. So that is the playoff breakdown. If you guys have any questions or if you think I did something wrong, let me know in the comments or the Discord. And should be really exciting. I am still predicting, as I have many weeks ago, that a 4-4 team will make it. So, big match. I would say the biggest match is definitely Manitans versus, I think it's the Dar Manitans. Because the Manitans losing just opens up the door for so many of these teams, whereas the Manitans winning, they guarantee it. And Sableyes, it's unlikely that Sableyes lose their spot because they could win, or they could, or because as long as they take a game, they take it. The only way they lose a spot to somebody else is an 0-2 loss, and it requires some other things to happen. So it kind of hinges on the Manitans here, whether they lose. And if they lose, a lot of other teams have an option. If they lose 1-2, I don't think the Incineroars can take it. But I don't know how the triple, if like, let's say all 4 of these teams were in it, I don't know how the KDs would look. Maybe maybe they do take it with Katie if the Incineroars get like 2 4-0s or something. I don't know. I don't know. So we'll see. But that was your playoff breakdown by Goomer22.